This time on Woody's Garage, the SL350 again.
Well, today I had to drill out the neutral switch assembly, which I still have no friggin' idea how the hell it works. But I had to drill it out of there. I could not get that out. I used an impact driver, put a chisel on it to try to make a new straight blade screw. That didn't work. I tried drilling in a small drill. All my small drills are really dull, so I took one that was about the same size. Pretty much hit it on center. I was lucky, and the unit popped off. Now, for the future, if this engine was rebuilt, that would be a pretty easy extraction, but right now I'm not going to bother doing that. But we got the unit, so let's take a look at that thing. Try to figure out how it works. Okay, here's the deal. This is the part I took off first. One screw. And it goes around like a cam. Don't know how. And then the other thing is just really a bracket. This is where that wire plugs in, that green-red wire plugs in. So it must lean up against like that. And as this turns around, how it turns around, I don't know. But it probably, you know, completes the circuit or whatever. So I'll clean this up. I was at the hardware store. I got some new screws for the side cover, or bolts for the side cover. And I got a new one. I looked up in the parts finch and found out the right screw that goes in there. I don't know if it needs a washer too. I don't think one came out. That's the old head that came off. Don't think I see a washer attached to that. Whoops, sorry. I always do that. No. Okay, it's raining out today, so might be able to get outside and work on it a little bit, but I'm going to clean this thing up anyway and think about what we're going to do next. Focus up. Okay, I'm not finding a lot of information about a neutral switch online or in the manual or any place else, but this guy sits against a case like that. Plugs in there, I think I mentioned that, and this is the other part. Okay, it's got a little nub that sticks up. When I unscrewed this screw, I thought the whole thing was going to come out, so I didn't really, this just fell out. I didn't notice which way was correct. But if you put the screw in here, it's going to sit up high like that, so I don't think that's right. The other side, get off. Has this copper or brass, whatever it is, insert there, and two notches. Might make more sense when I go to put it back on, or hang on. Okay, I'm at the other engine. Why don't I just look at this, you know? You can definitely tell that it goes, it's got to go into that notch right there, then it's screwed in here. Right? Let's find out. Love finding stuff like this on the floor. Like, what the hell is that thing? Where did that fall out of? Okay, back to this. I think I got it. So this kind of straddles that. You can see where I drilled out the old screw there, right around it. So you put that piece in first. This little tab up here is to hold the harness in. And then you would take this nub and put this nub into that hole and put the screw in, and that should do it. So if it just stopped raining, we could have some fun. But that should do it, I think. And I have the screws, so stop raining. I just went outside and stopped raining for a little bit, and I pulled this cover off. I'm going to clean this up. Might as well. Okay, about as clean as it's going to get in these conditions. I don't have a parts washer. It's going to get grease all over it about as soon as I put it back together anyway. But clean up all this stuff, this roller, the shifter deal. I'll show you how it goes together, if I can fucking remember. Oh yeah. Okay. This is a screw adjustment that goes outside of the case, and there's a notch here, and this notch fits down in the case and sits like that, and then we got to put the nut on the outside. Got it right now about flush. Okay, now we're going to take this guy. One of these bearings came loose, but it popped right back in. It seems okay. So we're going to drop it in here. Quite honestly, I don't know how it goes. Hang on. So be it. Then we cleaned up this guy. And those things ride on those bearings right there. And that hooks up to the spring. And then there's a ball bearing that sits right inside of here. I'm going to put some grease on this right now. It goes like that, the spring around there. I can also get grease in it later from a greased Zerk that's on the other side. Now we want to put the ball bearing in there, and we're going to put a blob of grease in there so it holds. Wouldn't even know it's in there, but it is. I decided to put in the switch, despite it being slightly rainy, but I'm under the deck. And this part of the green-red wire that goes into the switch broke off, and so I just had to drill it out. Hang on. I just dropped it in the trash. I think we got the switch in. I had to change the tip for the green-red wire because the original one broke off. I drilled it out and then it fell in the trash. But I had another one that fit perfectly, so that's what's in there right now. Looks very vulnerable, but seems to work. Kind of no fun doing this on a rainy day, but I really want to do it. And I think I might even put the side cover on. Yeah, the side cover's on. New screws, aren't they fancy? Looks like we got some kind of clutch action going here. I just took the slack out of this. This is pretty much an adjustment that I just left where it was. I think I'm going to tighten that up with a 12mm. I got to put on the shifter. There's enough there to grab. Yeah, should be solid. That just hurt my hand. Let me put that on if I can. Put on the shifter. I had two of them. This was the worst one, but the spline seemed to go on like a little bit better here and clean. Shit, we're ready to take a ride. It stops raining. I'm not going to test ride it in the rain. Well, I got into second gear, in the clutch, and pop, something happened. And the chain was sounding really nasty, stiff. So I was coming back to put some oil on it, and then the clutch just went. So, a little hasty. We had a break in the rain, so I couldn't help myself. But now I'll park it. So it seems like I suddenly have some slack here in the cable. Not sure what happened inside there. I've never adjusted that yet. But this was amazing. It started on the first kick. Got through first and second. And now we're back here. And it's supposed to start pouring again, so I think we're gonna do this at some other time. Wet, pretty foggy day today. Expect rain on and off today, but we're gonna get into the clutch today. See what happened. I just took off the side cover, and I was thinking something jumped, but everything looks pretty good. I also thought that maybe I had the clutch rod in backwards. But the smooth end is facing the clutch. So, I don't know, let's pop that thing on and take a look. It all seems to look good too. It's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. So the neutral switch isn't working at all, so I'm going to try to figure that out too. Okay, we'll get this guy up out of the way. I want to try to see if I can solve the neutral switch first. It's like days like this, you hate to go in and out of the house because you clump about 1.5 pounds of dirt on your feet and drag it through the basement. It's awful. So it's a switch, I guess. And I guess when this part comes around, that could certainly be cleaner. Got that little indexing nub. It comes around like this and makes contact. Then we got our green light, and as it moves beyond that, spins around like this. There's nothing to contact it, so the green light goes out. I'm going to clean up the contacts, I think. Well, it seems like we got the neutral switch squared away. I put a little zip tie here to hold the wire in place, awfully close to the chain. But speaking of the chain, I think I found out why we're making so much noise. Duh. This has got to go through here. So I'll pop the master link in so it doesn't rub. Well, the cover's back on. One thing I did is these two screws. The schematic or the diagram called for 75 millimeters, and these I bought were 80, and they didn't seem to really, they seemed to like they were maxing out, so I shortened them down to 75, and now they feel like they're too short. Hopefully they grabbed enough, and I'm not creating a big problem with that. We got the shifter back on, and I'm going to do the procedure that I saw online to adjust the clutch. Okay, it appears we have the neutral switch working. Seems like the clutch is working. Back brakes are squeaking like crazy. Wondering if they have any shoes left. Ran okay, got through 3 gears. Kicked and bucked a tiny bit, but hardly any at all, really. I mean, considering I've done no adjustment to the carb. And the gas is very low. I mean, it could have been running low on gas. But still some refining to do. The squeaking in the back wheel is terrible. I feel like I gotta take a look at this back wheel. So I jacked up the bike. It's heavy. My shoulder's killing me, so I can't lift too hard. I'm looking at this chain right now. That thing is wanked. Look at this right here. Whoa. So I gotta pop the chain off, that nut, the stay, the the brake cable. It's a pain in the neck. But I better get to it. Well, we got the axle out without much fanfare. And our first look at the brakes. Pulled the brake hub out. And little brake there, like nothing over here. My eyesight on my feel wasn't that good. It looks like we do have brakes, which is good because I was dreading ordering some. It is squeaky, so I'll hit them with some brake cleaner and reassemble. I just heard a tip online that sounded pretty good. They said to stop brake squeal that this leading edge here should be chamfered down a little bit so that it doesn't catch, but it kind of looks like it's this whole part right here is already down. You know what I mean? Like they did do that. I guess they do that at the factory. But still, this is a little square, so I'm going to trim some off of that with the wood file. There's a brake hub. That's kind of weird, huh? I wonder why it's like that. Like dust out or something? Huh. I just chamfered, cleaned up with a little sandpaper, hit it with brake cleaner. Let's put it back together and hope it doesn't squeal. So here's a lesson. Leave the chain going over the counter shaft and just let it dangle. Because I could not thread that in. I had to take off that damn cover again. I was swearing bloody fucking murder. This job shouldn't have taken long, but every single part is so damn filthy. I had to clean it so that it was usable. But wheels on now, chains on. We'll put the cover back on. If those brakes squeak, I'm gonna scream. Another rainy, wet day. I'm out of breath because I just had to push this back. I was working on the rear brake, and now it feels terrible. It doesn't squeal, but it feels terrible. And the clutch thing popped again, so I kind of got stuck up the street. Had to push it. And there's these little hills you can go up and down, and I tried to get it rolling and jump over it, and my leg caught right here. This isn't the regular light that this thing has. The regular light sits down about here, but so that didn't work out too well. Fell, smashed that up, bent a perfectly good fender, which I had bought, and the clutch is fucked. So I think I'm going to take a break from it today.